Welcome to the 2022 Spring Clean series here on the Victoria Marie YouTube channel. I'm Victoria Marie, and I'm so glad that you're here. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. When you do, click the bell. That way you'll be notified each and every time new videos posted here to the channel. So once a year, I typically go through my scrappy stash and get rid of a whole bunch of stuff. I am a brutal purger, and I don't like to keep things around that I'm not using and no longer interested in. And usually this time of year is perfect for me to do that because I'm also not only spring cleaning my studio, but I'm also spring cleaning my entire house. So all week long, I'm going to be sharing some videos of my purge and organization process. And towards the end of the series, I'm going to give you a complete walkthrough of my craft studio. And I'm going to talk about tips and tricks for organizing your scrappy supplies as we go along. Now, organizing your craft space, whether it's a closet, a corner in your bedroom, or maybe a large room, can take some time. So with that being said, I'm going to tackle this project one section at a time in my studio. This is my typical approach because organizing and purging supplies and all that can take a while. So it's helpful to break down this process into smaller chunks. But first, let me show you a little bit of what I'm working with here. So this space is on the second floor of my house. This was a bonus space, and we were originally using it for like a home library, but I quickly outgrew the small room that I was using downstairs. This has now become the studio. It's also a space where my daughter works on her crafts as well. About a year ago, I reorganized this space, creating stations for things like my electronic die cutting machine, my printer. My daughter has a computer desk, as you can see there. That's actually getting ready to go this week, and you'll see that process as well. I also added a counter height island where I craft at, which has been amazing. I also created a coffee station because if you've been with me for a while, you know how I love my coffee and my tea while I'm crafting and working. And towards the back of the room, I purchased some drawers for extra materials, and I've been reorganizing my stamps as well. And that continues to be a work in progress. Now, for today's video, I'm going to be focusing on this side of my room. I have 3 IKEA cabinets. Those are Billy bookcases, I believe that's what they're called, and they have doors with them. I also have a cube system from Target that I've been using to house my thickers as well as my paper kits and collections. And then within the cabinets, there are some materials that I've just I had originally organized and now they've gotten unorganized. I need to purge some things because sometimes when you get new stuff, you just kind of put it where it'll fit. So I want to make sure that it's organized, that I can access it easily, and that it doesn't look so disheveled. So in that particular cabinet, I've got some embroidery supplies, my miniature build supplies. This cabinet, I have my mixed media supplies. This one's actually not too bad, but it is a cabinet that we access pretty regularly, my daughter included, because she uses a lot of the paint and whatnot there. So we're going to go ahead and jump right on in. Now that I've hyped myself up, it's time to start the purge process. Any organizational project that I work on, I always go through my stuff and I let things go. That's me lifting a heavy cube because it's packed full with stuff. So I'm going to go through each section. I'm going to decide what items I need and want and what items I no longer need. I'm also going to create piles of products and categorize them. So for instance, I'm going through a whole bunch of my paper kits and collections. A lot of this stuff was sent to me for contract projects or design team projects, and a good amount of it is duplicate product. All right, mid-purge status update. So I mentioned at the beginning of this video, I'm a brutal purger. I get rid of a lot of stuff, and I didn't realize how much stuff was in these cubes back here. I had crammed quite a bit, and majority of it is product that was given to me for contract projects or whatever. A lot of it I cannot sell. I know people ask, are you going to sell it? Are you going to, whatever. I can't sell it. And I can remember a lot of what was sent to me for projects. But there's some stuff I can't remember if I bought it or not. So that's why I generally do not sell product. But I am putting the product that I am going to give away, donate in boxes. And then I'm making piles of stuff that I'm going to be keeping and maybe hopefully putting like the embellishments and stuff in those clear plastic bins, which I'll show you here in just a few. But I'm making piles of embellishments and stickers. I also have piles of paper back there. A lot of them are duplicate papers. When I was on the American Crafts design team almost about a year and a half ago, when they send you your design team package, they send you a lot of stuff. They're very generous. And so I'm going to go through those stacks and separate the duplicate pattern papers and just only keep like one. And one of each design or one of whatever design that I like. Then the rest will be donated. So I think I'm going to continue on for another hour. So I've been at this for about an hour now. I purge pretty fast. Got to eat some lunch and then I'll get back to it. So I have successfully cleaned out a lot of my cubes and I love having empty storage. So now it's time to move on to organizing my cabinets. I purchased these clear containers from Joann's. They're called Top Notch. I love clear containers so much because you can see exactly what you have. You can find these acrylic containers just about anywhere, and they're so handy for organizing your supplies and seeing exactly what you have on hand. And at times, sometimes they're difficult to pull apart because they get stuck and they kind of swell and it becomes a whole thing. As you can see, I'm having so much fun. Now that that's done, I'm going to go through my sticker sheets as well as my chipboard stickers. I'm going to designate a bin specifically for those items. I'm also going to start putting in the acrylic bins into my cabinet. I like to put them in empty so I can kind of get an idea for space. I usually measure the spaces first before I actually buy the storage containers. That way I know that they will fit. And I've used storage containers like this before. I knew they would fit, so I'm good to go. Now, the litmus test for me to get rid of things is as follows. If it's an item that I have not used in over a year, more than likely I'm not going to use it, it's going to go. If it's something that is not my style anymore, then it's going to leave the room. Or if I have duplicates of things, I only keep one and I let the other one go. All right, current status. I have a bunch of stuff that's going to be donated. I still have more to add to that pile. Then I have my cubes all cleared out and organized and reassigned. So I have kits that I purchased that will go in here. I'm going to do some more kind of detailed organizing at a later date. These are collections that I want to keep that I want to get rid of, and they're all packaged together. This is for Kingston Craft stuff, so I have to keep that. That's the design team I'm on. All three of these cubes are thickers, letters, and stuff related. I did create a drawer just for chipboard and sticker sheets, so all that's in there. And then down here is holiday, Christmas, whatever. And then these three right here are empty. Those are empty. And then over here in the cabinet, I organized my embellishments in these clear containers from Joann's, and this is going to work out so well. So right now I have die cuts, textured embellishments like puffy stickers and stuff. I have enamel dots and similar items, specialty things like brads and clips and things. And then I have sticker books here. And then right here, I have my 3x4 and 4x6 pocket cards. That's all that I've got there, which is fantastic, at least the extras. And then I have some little bits and bobbles there like sequin and things. My Ellie Studio stuff stayed the same. This whole bottom section stayed the same. So I have Ellie Studio stuff here, and then I have Ellie Edwards stuff right there. I'm going to fine tune some of that later, but I'm really liking how this is starting to look. Now I just need to hit up the mixed media cabinet over there. That won't take much work. And then I need to organize some things over here. And then I think I'll be done with this project for today. To be honest, this project took me a little bit longer than what I anticipated. So stopped, took a break, went to Sonic to grab a drink during Sonic's happy hour because that's what you do. All right, moving back into the cleaning and organizing. So now I'm tackling the mixed media cabinet. This is a cabinet that we use all the time. This houses my paints and mediums, gels, paste, and other supplies that we need for mixed media type projects. I'm also trying to decide how I want to reorganize things. So I put my Zig watercolor pens as well as my Copics into these acrylic bins. That's going to be temporary storage because I do have another idea of how I want to store my pens. But I went ahead and moved up my wood mount stamps. Those are the only wood mount stamps that I have left out of the 300 I got rid of years ago. Those are my favorite, and I just kind of keep them on display. I'm also shuffling some things around to make room for those pins to go on the second top shelf. And I'm not quite sure that I like them there. Again, I have some other pin storage that I'm going to be purchasing later, but it'll do for right now. This cabinet didn't need too much work, just a little bit of straightening up, and it's good to go. The third cabinet houses my embroidery supplies, my We Are Memory Keepers punch boards, as well as some mini house projects. I recently got into miniatures, and I buy a lot of kits because that's super addictive, and I want to make sure that everything's nice and organized. I'm going to bring over a little cloth basket, and that's going to house all of my incoming Ali Edwards kits. And I'm going to clear off this shelf that houses a lot of my embroidery kits, as well as my We Are Memory Keepers punch boards, along the way deciding what I'm going to keep and what I'm going to let go. I'm going to go ahead and put some more of those clear bins inside of the cabinet. And now I'm going to organize all of these supplies, just keeping the things that I love the most. I've been teaching myself how to embroider, and I'm doing that by purchasing different kits from a variety of different places. So I want to make sure that I can easily access those. And then I also got rid of some of my We Are Memory Keepers punch boards. Some of them were sent to me when I was on the American Crafts design team. Some of them I purchased, and I'm only going to keep the ones that I know that I'll use. To be honest, I do have quite a bit of space there at the top of the cabinet, and I'll figure out another way for it to be a little bit more functional down the road. But for now, it's nice, clean, and organized, and I can find everything that I'm looking for. Now, a couple of tips about organizing. Number one, start with purging. Do not reorganize supplies that you know you're not going to use or you have duplicates of. You can go ahead, package them up, and give them away to someone who can put them to good use. And second, don't be afraid to have some empty drawers and containers. That means that you'll have plenty of space, so when you purchase new things, they have a home to live in. Also, be sure to take some time to figure out how you want to store your materials. What makes sense for you right now? Do you need closed storage? Do you need clear containers? Do you need things out and displayed so you remember to use them? Take some time to figure this out and make decisions based on how you create right now. Now, the very last task I wanted to complete today was to go through all of my extra pattern paper. A lot of the paper in this stack are duplicate papers that I was sent, a lot of it from American Crafts. Typically, when I received a design team box, I would have a paper pack and a project pack and tons of duplicate single sheets. So it's time to go through and decide what I'm going to keep and what I'm going to let go. So I have two piles here, and I'm not wasting any time. I just quickly go through all of the paper, and I'm going to keep at least one or two of the pattern papers that I like, and the rest I'm going to let go. Of course, this video was sped up. I really wish I could move this fast, but I really like going through this process. It reminds me of what I have in my stash, and I can select the things that I know I'm going to use and let things go that I know I'm not. After I went through the paper purge process, I noticed that the stack that I'm going to keep is about the same height as the stack that I'm going to let go. I went through the stack of paper that I'm going to keep, and I organized it by designer and manufacturer, and I did let a few more pieces of paper go. Now, I love pattern paper, but I'm glad I did narrow it down to the patterns that I absolutely love and I know that I will use. And with that, part one of this series is done. I feel so much better going through all of those supplies and letting go of things that I do not need or want or that I have duplicates of. I'm not one to worry about purging and letting things go because I like a clean, fresh space, and I like only having the items that I know I will use on hand. All right, that's all that I have for you today, folks, but stay tuned. In the next video, I'm going to be tackling my die cutting in electronics station, and I'm also going to show you how I'm going to repurpose my daughter's computer station. If you have enjoyed this series so far, make sure you hit that subscribe button and click the bell. That way you'll be notified each and every time new videos are posted here to the channel. I'll see you in the next one.